We spend so much time talking about what leaders do. But what if the real secret to great leadership isn't about our actions at all, but about how we think? Well, today we're going to dive into a system that promises to remodel leadership from the inside out.
All right, let's just start with this powerful idea right here. You are a leader. And yeah, I'm talking to you. Because let's be real, true leadership has nothing to do with a fancy title or a corner office.
So what does that even mean? Well, think about it. If you influence how other people perform, or even just how they think, you're a leader. It doesn't matter if you're a coach, a consultant, a trainer, or hey, maybe you're just that person on the team everyone turns to for advice. See, the point is, it's all about your impact, not your job title. So let me ask you, where do you have an impact?
And that's really the big question, isn't it? I mean, most of us have a decent idea of what good leadership looks like. But how do you make that jump from just being good to being truly great? How do you create change that actually sticks? The kind of change that's not just meaningful, but measurable and really truly lasts.
So to figure that out, we've got to look at the flip side. Why does so much of the leadership training out there, why does it just fall flat? Why doesn't it stick?
Well, here's the deal. A lot of these programs are kind of one and done. They focus only on the surface stuff, your behavior. They'll tell you what to do, but they completely miss the why. They don't get to the root cause, which is how you think. It's kind of like slapping a coat of paint over a crack in the wall. Sure, it looks good for a bit, but you haven't done anything to fix the real problem with the foundation.
This really boils down to a fundamental choice. On one hand, you've got that old-school compliance-based leadership. That's all about rules and enforcement, and you know what that gets you? Usually the bare minimum effort. But on the other hand, there's this value-based, people-first approach. This one's all about inspiring real commitment by actually transforming how people think. It's the huge difference between just managing tasks and truly leading people.
Okay, so if that old model is broken, what's the fix? Well, this is where something called the Axiogenic approach comes into play. It's a completely new way of looking at this, a system designed for that deep, lasting change we've been talking about.
It's called Axiogenic Self-Leadership Development, or VSLD for short. And I want you to really focus on these words: remodel, rewire, and enhance. See, this isn't about fixing you or trying to force you into some cookie-cutter mold of a leader. Not at all. It's about unlocking the absolute best version of how you already think.
And the cool thing is, this idea scales up big time. VSLD, that's the personal self-leadership piece, that's the foundation. But when you take these same ideas and apply them across a whole organization, it becomes VODL, Axiogenic Organizational Development and Leadership. It's kind of like remodeling a house. You got to fix the foundation of each room before you can remodel the whole building.
Okay, this all sounds pretty amazing, right? But you're probably wondering, how does this actually work? Well, this isn't just some feel-good theory. It's actually grounded in some really fascinating science.
The science powering this whole thing is called neuroaxiology. I know, it's a mouthful, but let's break it down real quick. Neuro, that's about your brain, right? Your internal wiring. And axiology, that's the science of value, how we decide what's good, bad, or important. So when you put them together, boom, you get this incredible roadmap that shows why you think the way you do. It's like finally getting the user manual for your own mind, both the hardware and the software.
So how do you take this cool science and actually use it? Well, there's the saying, you can't change what you don't measure. And that's where this really unique assessment comes in, called the VQ profile. If neuroaxiology is the science, then think of the VQ profile as the MRI for your thinking. It gives you this crystal clear picture of what's really going on under the hood.
And what this VQ profile does is, frankly, pretty amazing. First, it quickly and super accurately assesses your thinking patterns, but it goes way deeper than that. It actually pinpoints the root causes of those sneaky self-sabotaging habits we all have. And on the flip side, it shows you the exact keys to unlock your personal A game, that state where you're at your absolute best.
All right, so we've got the science, we've got the tool. But what about the so what? What does this actually do in the real world? Because let's be honest, new insights are great, but what we're all really after are tangible, measurable results.
For leaders and their teams, the impact can be huge and fast. Just imagine making better decisions, faster, and with way less conflict. Imagine building a team where trust and accountability aren't things you have to force, they're just there. That's the kind of ripple effect you get when you start improving the quality of thinking. It changes everything from how you solve problems day to day to how you bring in new people and build them up.
And of course, this effect multiplies across the entire organization. When you improve thinking, person by person, leader by leader, You're not just running another training program. You're literally building a more resilient, more adaptable, more innovative company from the ground up. This is how you seriously boost performance and create a culture where your best people don't just show up to work, they actually want to stick around for the long haul.
So look, if there's one single thing to take away from all this, it's this. True, lasting transformation, it doesn't come from just trying to change what you do. It comes from going a level deeper. It comes from getting to the absolute root of performance, which is your thinking. And that leaves me with one final thought for you. What could you achieve? What new doors could you open for yourself, for your team, for your whole organization if you stopped focusing just on changing what you do and started focusing on transforming how you think?